Let's welcome in senior political analyst, former Pennsylvania senator, and senior advisor for the Convention of States, Rick Santorum, along with senior director of government affairs for the National Taxpayers Union, Tommy Aiello. Good afternoon, gentlemen. Senator, we're going to start with you. How unusual is this sort of campaign rally style push from a sitting president, one that's not seeking another term? And what messages must President Trump hit on to give Republicans a fighting chance in the midterm elections?
Well, Donald Trump is always campaigning, whether he's running for office or not. He's always out there trying to communicate and get his message across, which is something so refreshing to see. Most Republican presidents that I've worked with, do an occasional briefing or press conference. Trump is out there, and it hurt Republicans because they never really were able to pound their message and get their message out. Trump every single day is out there delivering this message, and in this case, he's delivering a very important message. He's going to northeastern Pennsylvania, which is the heart of the shale gas industry in Pennsylvania, and talking about energy prices as he should, and talking about energy production as he should, which have been really important for Pennsylvania. It's one of the reasons Pennsylvania has gone from over 1 million more Democrats and Republicans to now, I think the last count I saw was about 50,000 more Democrats and Republicans. So Trump is on the right message in the right state. And I think he's also on message when he talks about energy being the key to everything else, that if you can get energy prices down, it's going to ripple through the economy. And that's important. And secondly, he's got to talk about how he's going to get wages up, how he's going to start, creating more jobs. And again, the one big beautiful bill is great to do that, and the provisions that are in there, no taxes on tips and things like that, but also bringing manufacturing jobs and certainly new job starts. The problem with that, the only last point, the problem with that is it's going to take longer than this election cycle, if you will, before 2026, for those jobs to really be coming home. So he's got a little bit of a gap there, but other than that, I think he's on his message.
Tommy, Republicans passed a landmark bill in the big, beautiful bill that the senator was just talking about, but they haven't really gone out and sold what is actually in that bill. We have seen the president over the past week highlight some key aspects, like the Trump accounts, the $1,000 given to every baby born in this country to be invested in the stock market, a 401k for kids, if you will. But why haven't Republicans been more vocal on what is in this bill so the American people can be, excited about it? I think they passed it. They went into summer recess, and then they came back to a government shutdown.
Look, the one big beautiful bill, it's a mega law. There's so many different parts of it, on immigration, on the economy, taxes, energy. And just on that last point on energy, right? The one big beautiful bill, it expanded the amount of drilling on federal lands to expand the amount of supply. It cut taxes on the ability for producers to produce. Joe Biden raised those taxes, so we're cutting the taxes, expanding the drilling. It's all really good news. We're seeing that at the pump right now. And what the senator was saying about gasoline being a lagging indicator for the rest of the economy, right? The diesel fuel, it fuels the trucks that bring our produce to the grocery store, to bring all of our goods to our houses when we're ordering on Amazon and so much more. So as the price of gas continues to come down, I'm really confident we're going to see the rest of prices come down. Plus, this mega law, right? The average American family, because of all these great provisions cutting taxes, they're going to see an additional $3,500 a tax cut next year when they begin to file. So that's really good news. Prices coming down, more money in people's pockets, wages up. That's a recipe for success going into the midterms.
Senator, you hit on something in the first point that you made, and we saw it in Mike Carter's report. He was interviewing people probably attending the rally tonight and excited about President Trump, probably Trump voters. And Trump voters and the MAGA base is like, give the president time. He can't switch around the economy in just 1 year after 4 years of Joe Biden's disastrous policies. However, in polling, we are seeing independents and Democrats have a very negative view about President Trump and the Republicans when it comes to handling the economy. How should the president be focusing on, independents, which are going to be key to winning the midterms, as well as persuading some Democrats who have soured on his agenda?
Well, I think obviously part of that is the news you consume, and obviously Democrats consume a news programs that are very, very hostile to Trump. And so I'm not surprised. I mean, there is a divide in this country, but that divide is exacerbated by the media outlets that people choose to consume. But the president's doing everything he can be doing. There's certainly no shortage of the president going out there and talking about these issues, trying to drive these issues home, doing public appearances, going to states like Pennsylvania, which are key swing states. This is all about preparing for the 2026 election. When I was running, I didn't really much care what the polls were in December or January or February. But what you need to do is you need to lay the groundwork so the messages you start to deliver and you start to get out there by the time election time rolls around, enough people have heard it that it'll make a difference. The other thing the president is message, you got to deliver message, you've got to perform. And I think the president has a lot of things he can talk about and Republicans can talk about. They can talk about the border. They can talk about energy. They can talk about manufacturing, coming back into the country. But in the end, it's what people feel in their own personal lives that's going to be the determining factor. And unless he can start to get wages up, I think, prices have sort of calmed down, but unless you can start getting these wages up to catch up with the lost purchasing power under the Biden administration, people aren't going to really feel it yet. And the One Big Beautiful Bill can actually do that with some of the tax breaks in there.
Well, Tommy Aiello, and thank you so much for stopping by. We appreciated your expertise. And Rick Santorum, please stick around.
Thank you.